Before I get started, I just want to give a big thank you to Patreon supporter and Soundwave contest winner Udon173, who found this figure early and sent it to me to review. This video would not be possible without his help. He contacted me after the winners were chosen, but before I announced who won, asking me if I'd be interested in taking a look at a Bumblebee Shockwave he just bought, then sending it back. It turned out he meant Soundwave, but I agreed before I knew that. You have no idea how hard it was to not crack a joke about trading him a Legends figure for a Legends figure. But I didn't want to spoil that he'd won. Then he told me that was a typo, and it became even harder to not make a Soundwave for a Soundwave joke. And then, just before shipping it off to me, he sent me a message saying that he decided after messing with it for a bit that he just didn't want it back. I'm not exactly comfortable taking this as a gift. I do really want to pay him back for this, but he just doesn't want this in his house anymore. I suppose I can be his convenient trash can for this. I agree with his desire to no longer own one of these. Hell yeah! First figure of 2022, and it's already won so bad it will probably end up on the worst of year list. That's peak PerspectiveEnd right there. Last year, the first thing I reviewed was Earthrise on Netflix, and this year, my first review is Soundwave. Will it become a tradition that the first review of every year is on something terrible? I guess we'll see next year if I remember, and also have something bad to cover at the time. It's Studio Series Bumblebee movie Soundwave, and we are starting off in his good mode. If you want this figure, you want it for this mode, and for nothing else. Because to be fair to this pretty bad thing, this mode is actually quite good. It's well painted, it's well sculpted, it looks just like the design from the movie, and this was a pretty good design for Soundwave in that movie, unlike the silver predator-faced abomination that's in the other movies, that you would have to be told was Soundwave to have any hope of recognizing as Soundwave. This does capture the spirit of the character. Even if you stripped out all of the color on this and made it gray like the other movie version, this does have enough identity in the design to clearly be the character. Just coming down to the shoulder cannon and the squared window chest. What was so hard about putting any of the distinguishing features of the characters into the old designs? Like, really, this is not all that similar to the original Soundwave. If you took away the colors, the cannon, and the window, every shape on this body would be different. It's a lot more triangular, with a weird bulbous edge where everything kind of starts fat, then really narrows down. Quite literally narrows down, as it starts bulbous up high, and then the lower you go, the pointier he gets. Definitely not something that screams Soundwave like we've ever seen him before, and it really goes to show how little the designs had to look like they were supposed to, provided that they got the key details right. The coloration is important, but getting just those few vital icons of the character is paramount. Hell, they even get away with having the completely wrong-looking head. Like, I cannot profess any affinity for this head. Like, none whatsoever. It just doesn't look at all like the character to me. But at the same time, I'm still not confused as to who this is supposed to be, simply because they got the coloring, cannon, and chest window right. Even if, as I see it, this is not the correct head, I'm not mad at this. It's not an awful-looking head, it just doesn't capture the character. And it looks weirdly sad. Like, why did they make the bad guy look so preciously distraught? And what is up with this blue stripe down the front of his faceplate? It honestly took me an embarrassingly long time to notice this was there, probably because none of this looks right, so a detail like that was easy to slip right past me. So yeah, this isn't a bad head sculpt, but I'm not a fan. Tragically, this figure cannot do the all-important Soundwave button-pushing pose. He just doesn't have the articulation for it. Though, he does have the spring-loaded door, and it is a pretty satisfying sensation it gives you when you open it, even if you can see the faux-forming chest lodged in his back like he's choking on his own bad decisions. Also, I know this is stupid, but I just hate his feet. I hate them. These teardrop-shaped things are just so ugly to me. And I think they were only done like this to keep up with his weird new triangular motif. Everything else I'm cool with, but I hate these feet. Fuck these feet. Not like Quentin Tarantino. Lastly about the look, I do really like what they did with the chest. The paint on it is immaculate, and they've done this cool thing where they painted both sides of it, with the Decepticon symbol and the gold outline on the front, and the red outline on the inside, giving it a really cool 3D appearance. Also, why is the back of his head painted gray? It makes him look bald. This guy does not come with a lot, and while on a different figure, I might say that the quality of the robot mode excuses it, the transformation and alt mode make that generosity of mine go right to hell, because when we get to those aspects, you will see they did not give a shit. So, where the fuck is my Rumble, or Frenzy, or Laserbeak? I know they weren't in the movie, I know they'd be big and complex like the core Ravage they're doing, but this is about as much a Transformer as a red figure. So where the hell are my cassettes, Hasbro? Anyways, he comes with a gun, it's cast in blue, painted almost entirely black. Based on these pictures, I thought it was going to be bulkier, but really this is pretty slender, though it is long. And it's a fair amount of paint used in a color that's not really found anywhere else on the figure. Then you got his shoulder cannon, and this is decently done. It's 2 parts with a pin and 2 colors of paint. I've not said it yet, but the blue on this figure is quite appealing, as is the white and the silver on the joints and front of the cannon, though I do think this could have stood to have some red dabs in these holes. This back section seems to be a separate piece, but it doesn't want to come off. And that's it. That's what he comes with. Posability on this is actually better than average. Head has probably slightly more up and down than normal, shoulders pull a 90, but no cheating possible here, and it's an absolutely hideous joint. Elbows are kind of hard to use, but they will get you more than a 90. You can untransform the arm for some sword-wielding wrists, but otherwise nothing there. He has a waist behind this absolutely hideous fupa of a monoskirt, which, when you flip it up, you kind of realize that he's like 2/3 leg. Legs kick pretty forward, pretty to the side, and pretty back, but all of them are just about 1% not far enough. Knees bend more than a 90, and you can untransform them for more, though it is clashy, and very mobile feet. So wait, if this looks good, and it's painted well, and it poses above average, then how can this be one of the contenders for Worst of Year already? Well, let me tell you, it's not because I haven't reviewed anything else yet, it's just because the decent parts of this figure are front-loaded due to my review format. Because everything after this point sucks so bad. This is a shit show of a transformation, just a true ball ache. Like, this is not complex in the least, it's actually kind of brain-dead simple, and yet, they still managed to screw that up. The shoulder pads want to pop off if you move the toes, the tabs don't want to slot in or stay in, the leg panels have to scrape their way past themselves in an uncomfortable, clashy car accident second only to the Kingdom Rhinox. And the kicker is that all the double joints fight you here. They don't lock into place, they just kind of slide around, and you need them in specific positions for them to tab where they're supposed to go, and with all the tabs not really working on this thing, it really feels awful to try to convert this guy into this. You know, I was pretty hard on this thing based on the pictures of the alt mode. I thought it looked like it was going to be crap. This is worse. In hand, somehow, this is so much worse. This might honestly be the worst alt mode I've ever seen. This is dog shit. I am beside myself with just how trash this alt mode is. I have no idea how they thought they were done. Who looked at this and was able to think to themselves, yeah, that looks acceptable. The only nice thing I can say about this is the fake cockpit section does have at least some semblance of internal seating with a window looking into it, like a little diorama. And that's actually kind of cool, and is something we could stand to see on more figures. But also, the cockpit sucks because in real life, this is a lot flatter than it looks in pictures. This whole thing is so pancaked out, there is no distinct section that you can point at meaning anything on this guy. Where are the thrusters? Where are the doors? Where is the landing gear? Trick question, there isn't anything like any of that because this is nothing. This is not a space brick, this is a space nothing. It's not anything. It's a shape because the guy who designed this figure had literally no ideas when working on it, so he decided to reference a one-off comic cover that sucked and was drawn bad in the first place because it was made by someone who wasn't putting any thought into it themselves. It's someone not giving a shit, so they based it on someone who didn't give a shit either. I cannot think of an alt mode I've ever run across that's more of a waste of time than this. This really should have been a red figure, but the robot mode actually kicks the crap out of all the red figures, so this doesn't belong anywhere. Its alt mode is trash and shouldn't exist, its transformation sucks the life out of you and should never be done, and it poses too good and is made too nice to be a red figure. Unless all you want out of this is the robot mode, save your money. Honestly, if you get this, you are probably just better clipping off all the transformation tabs because you should just never engage with 2/3 of this Transformers figure. Keep your cash, you will be happier that way. And now it's time for the monthly shoutouts. Sorry I was so late on this one. It's literally a third the way into this month, but when taking the vacation last month, I was too preoccupied trying to finish 6 videos in the time it would normally take me to do 1, so I forgot about it, and then after coming back, I was just too exhausted from the vacation, and too preoccupied with getting back on schedule, as well as the fact that the videos were already running over long anyways. So if you would like to get yourselves a shoutout, please just follow the instructions currently on screen. Follow them to the letter, please. And without further ado, Cringe Kimson is making LEGO Transformers on Instagram, and they do look pretty awesome. Darklord Diabolos truly has an eclectic channel, and I say that having been told what he does this time. He talks tabletop games, Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks, card fight lore, and made a review of a fan season of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And I have no idea what I just said. Check them out to figure it out for me. Pennygram was my 100th subscriber ever, someone who was invaluable in making the channel Discord, and he has a channel that is expanding what it does at a breakneck pace. He makes Minecraft videos, creepypastas, gaming vids, hosts events, and is even doing kind of expose things now. Check him out if any of that sounds interesting to you. Just a random reviewer is trying to get to 100 subscribers. They are all about that Transformers life, making reviews, stop motions, news videos, playthroughs of Transformers games, and more. If you live, eat, and breathe Transformers, you got something in common. Ian4Biz wants me to tell his dad happy birthday. Sorry this was a little late, since that was back on the 5th of December, so you know, more than a month ago. I'm good at shoutouts. Opthomas Prime wants another shoutout, so check them out for animations. Then check out this video by James Farr, a YouTuber only about 100 times larger than me, where Opthomas took his name from. Next up, I feel absolutely awful. I am so sorry. Izik's cat, Mr. Anderson, had to go to the vet, and Izik was forced to start a GoFundMe because they don't really have the money to pay for the treatment. But this video is so late, the GoFundMe is already closed. I hope Mr. Anderson made it through okay, and if you start another GoFundMe, I will shout it out at the end of this month. Again, I am so very sorry I am so late on this one. Emperor Vector is making drawings on Instagram. If you like the Transformers or enjoyed Arcane, then maybe go check them out. ShadowTrooper TX 5836 wants you to look at pictures of their cat, Bean, who's a good kitty. Lboy 28's birthday was on the 18th of December, so happy belated birthday. I will try to suck at this less in the future, and congratulations on your first video to hit over 1,000 views. Melvin Patrick Kenyero is a recent subscriber who I've been noticing in the comments more and more. Happy to have you, dude, and I hope this brightens up your day. Teab02 makes Doctor Who and Minecraft videos, and those aren't two separate things. He also does Transformers content from time to time. Queeny Part 2 wants me to shout out their Twitter where they post art and memes, though at some point it seems like the memes ate the art. Go there to see what I mean. Pony Hall has 27 subscribers and no videos. How do you get that good? How do you get to the point where people subscribe to you based on name alone? Celesader's best friend's dad recently fell 40 feet and broke 9 of his ribs. This GoFundMe is actually still going. If you can donate even $1 to help them with their medical expenses, you would make all of our days. Theirs because you'd be lessening their burden, and mine because it would mean that I helped in even a small way. Stefan Bogdan has COVID. I'm sorry to hear that, my guy. I hope you feel better soon. TF Movie's sister, Paula, just turned 17 on the 28th. Happy birthday, and your brother owes you big for you showing him my videos. Don't let him live it down. Lastly, Soundvox is creating teeny tiny Transformers out of Lego on YouTube. Check them out. They're just starting out, but they already have 10 videos. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please, share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.